Okay, I can see you a little bit. So hi, this is us doing some footwork today. So we're talking about, it was spurred by the idea of plantar fasciitis. So just to review, the plantar fascia goes across the bottom of the foot. And oftentimes, this is not for all the reasons, but sometimes it gets overstretched when we start wearing flip-flops and other things and develop the extrinsic muscles of the feet and don't spend enough time developing the intrinsics. But where we are today is working with the calcaneus, the talus, and the tibia. So just take your foot and hold your heel bone, and then right above your heel bone, right underneath your ankle here, there's a bone there. Hold that. Let's call that the talus for right now. And then just take your heel and just move the heel and hold the talus so you can feel. I got to move my legs in a different way. This is very awkward. Hi, everybody. So just move that heel around and just feel how much you've got that. It's called the subtalar joint, which is the joint between your calcaneus, which is your heel, and the talus, which goes right between your heel and your tibia, which is your shin. And just play with that a bit. And then play with this idea, because we talked about lifting the arches. Let me see if I can get more oriented so you can see. Here in the foot, this is so interesting for me to find a way to get my leg up there without hurting anything. So here's the foot, that right here in the heel, and then there's a ligament that goes from about here to about this bone, this area, or somewhere in here, this here to this bone, and just play with this area right in here. Just to pretend there's a ligament in here, we're going to call that the spring ligament, and just sort of bring the ligament together. Don't worry about if you're on it or not on it. Just play with that a little bit. And that's the one that when everything's in line, you've got a spring to your arch, a spring to your step. Okay, now you've played with that a bit. Now stand up and just notice the difference in your feet and walk around even and tell me if you feel anything. Whew. So anybody have anything?
My arch feels higher.
Nice. Anybody feel nothing?
I feel nothing.
Nothing? Jody, you feel nothing?
Yeah, but my heel didn't really want to move.
That's okay. Well, we're gonna keep playing.
Yeah, I just felt kind of on the opposite side, on the lateral side, some tightness. I don't know if that was already there before, if it was increased by moving more on the inside side.
Cool. Andy, anything?
It feels better, but I exercise my feet a lot because I've had plantar fasciitis, so I've been doing stuff for years.
Oh, cool. Well, then maybe you and Jen can stay on the call afterwards and you can share some ideas with her. But this is just down and dirty plantar fasciitis. So now do the other side and just hold the heel and then hold your talus, or right below your ankle bone, and just roll that around, that heel around, and just see what's possible in there, you know? And maybe one side will be different. I mean, I'm going to assume they will be because they are always different. So just play with that joint and then just start to feel, let's say, just start to feel, oh, let's work with the spring ligament again. So go ahead and take the bone, it's kind of on your navicular, and then into the heel, and then just move those two, like as if you're moving a ligament there. You may or may not be, but today, let's just say you are, and just see what that does. And we'll do one more thing after this to play, and then go ahead and take a walk and see if there's any difference on this foot. I feel a lot more freedom in my shin area, actually, for me today. It changes every day when I do it. I don't do this every day, but when I do it, I definitely feel it feels different. Anybody want to say anything here?
Well, I had plantar fasciitis, and I was told it was because I walked barefoot in the house all the time, barefoot or stocking footed. And I also would walk on my tiptoes, something I had always done since I was a child. and that the person who talked to me about it felt that had tightened up. I had pulled up the fascia or whatever because of that tightness in my calves. So I'm not feeling that, and I don't know, but it finally went away, you know. And
Good.
I always wear shoes in the house, some kind of thing on my feet, different supportive things.
Right.
But I like the idea of changing. I'll have to do that because I've been wearing my UGG boots, which keep my feet warm, and loving them, but I can switch. I've got a good
Plus,
thing.
it gives us an excuse to buy more shoes. I'm just saying. So, any feedback on this foot?
I think like Jen says, I tend to supinate naturally, and I always thought it was because I had weak thighs, which may also be true. But every time I touch my feet or we do these feet exercises, I just feel more grounded, like I'm really able to like not have that kind of sideways feeling, but feel more flat-footed.
Nice. Cool.
Like it stretches them.
Yeah. Jen, anything on this foot?
It was funny. Yeah, originally I kind of noticed I went oop, like kind of in towards the big toe side, and then I was like, oh, and now I'm noticing this springiness. So it was kind of like reorienting and then being like, oop, felt a little more popped up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy, anything?
No, it just feels good to stretch my feet.
Good. All right, awesome. Me too. Well, I would say, Jen, since you did have that pop-up feeling on one side, play with that. Play with this,
Yeah.
just those things. We'll do one more time, both sides. Take your original foot or whichever foot you want to start with, and now hold the heel, and now hold the bone above it, and just see, can you, or find some way, play with your foot enough, and just see if you can slide that, figure where your talus might be, and just see if you can slide that bone. Because you hold the heel and maybe see if where can my talus slide? Just see and you don't even have to know if you're on it or not, just pretend that you are and just see how can that slide forward and back and side to side. It won't do a lot of side to side movement. It won't do a lot of movement at all, but just see, can you find some sort of, just a little bit of movement in there and just see what happens for you. And if you want to, I like to always A-B it because that's where I get my biggest insights from my body and my body learns. So after you've slid it around a little bit, that's enough. Just take another walk just so you can A-B, and then we'll do the other foot. And then, anyway, thanks for playing with me today on this. Yeah, I feel a lot different just moving the talus alone today. Who knows what it would be tomorrow. And then move the other, yeah, Jen?
Oh, yeah, that time I actually felt more grounded and more, yeah, it just felt very nice when I was walking on the floor. I still have this like kind of pain around the outside side, but that's what I think I've just been experiencing, but I felt more, just kind of solid.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, as we're doing the other side, anybody else want to share? Fine. But let's move the talus on the other side. And have fun with that. Even if we, quote, don't know or what'd you say?
One spot. Yes, it's like my pregnancy problems. Like when you sleep in one spot or stay in one spot, you just get stiff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just even the little bit of movement in it just helps you feel more stable again.
Yeah. And remember, we're just looking for a little bit of movement over a lot of places. So not one place, like one spot is it, All right, so let's go ahead and take another quick walk. Getting warm, so I'll take my fleece off. Great. Well, as long as we're on the topic, I'm going to bring in the skeleton for a sec. And let's look at the lower leg, since many of you have already a lot of experience with the foot. But to bring in this idea of the, so here, let me just, so here's the calcaneus, big old heel bone, right? And then this above it is the talus. So here's the calcaneus right here, chunk, weight bearing, hi, I take weight. And this is the talus, that wedge between this and the tibia. So you see how we've got this tibia, talus, calcaneus continuum here? This is the inside, this is my inner ankle right here, okay? So on the outside of the leg, the skeleton, there we go. So we have the calcaneus here, goes into, you can't see the talus, it's underneath here, the fibula, this is the fibula, and it connects into the talus a little bit there. So the fibula and the talus have kind of a cool relationship. So the heel foot I was talking about is this heel, and then it goes into this bone here, the cuboid, and into these two toes, crosses the ball of the foot, and then moves into the ankle foot, which would be these front three, other three toes, which have a lot more movement and mobility because they're more bones and more joints, smaller bones. But the fibula, this bone, think about it as you roll, just think about because as we do our standing poses today, I'm going to have you envision the fibula rolling inward. So this is my fingers, the fibula, it's going to roll towards the middle of the foot. And as that fibula rolls forward, allow yourself to think about giving room for the talus to slide backwards. Does that make sense? So as the fibula rolls in, the talus slides back. As the fibula rolls out, the talus slides forward. So if I'm pointing my toe, my fibula will roll out to let the talus come forward. As I flex my foot, the fibula rolls in to let the talus slide back. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, and if it's just too much information, just ignore me, but it might be some fun exploration to see how this changes our sliding glides. So with that idea, let's go to the mat and do some poses. So just starting with our legs wide-ish. And that's kind of an interesting orientation to start with anyway, because our talus already may be wanting to slide to the middle or slide to the in or slide to the out. So let's just see if we can allow the talus to orient over the calcaneus and the tibia to go tibia, talus, calcaneus. And now see about moving the fibula forward as I bend my right knee and bend that right ankle, and then move the fibula out and my talus comes back up. So just take it 1 foot for right now and just think about, my arm is mirroring what my fibula might be doing. And just think about maybe having that fibula roll forward as the talus slides back, and as the tibia rolls out, the talus comes forward. Just take that a few more times in that one ankle. And then bring the feet together and just stand and take a moment to feel, is there any difference in your legs? Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. And take, you can always try a balance just to see how that's all going. How your perception, how the bones might be placed now. Take the other leg. Again, it doesn't have to be as wide as me. It can be a lot narrower, but you'll get more bend this way. Feel that fibula roll in as the talus slides back, the knee goes forward, and then the fibula rolls out as the talus comes back up. So as one rolls, it's allowing it to slide and then gliding it back into place. So as we're bending that left ankle, the idea is we're just getting more awareness in the idea that our talus can reorient from where it's used to being into maybe a place that actually might be more functionally supportive of our bones. Now, if your talus is already perfect in its placement, and this wasn't an issue, then just allow yourself to get in, enjoy the action and enjoy the discovery of, oh, this is what's happening. We don't have to fix or change anything. We're just allowing ourselves to open up to what's possible and what's maybe already happening. And then go ahead and bring the legs together. Stand, take a moment.
I feel this a lot in here, like in her thigh.
Yeah,
Where
cool.
it comes in. Yeah, that twist out, it really like engages right there.
Nice.
Just that
Excellent. What?
just a little, yeah, just a small shift of the knee out really engages that inner thigh.
Cool.
Yeah, and for me, that movement definitely is where the pain is. I'm like, oh, okay, that's connected. Okay.
So then maybe, Jen, for you, playing with the fibula might be a gateway in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Even just touching your fibula, you know, which is your outer ankle all the way up to that bone out there. And just saying, hi, fibula. I mean, who gets it?
Yeah.
I'm just bouncing the camera around with my foot on there. So sorry. We're underwater now. But I mean, who says hi to the fibula? Really, I'm just saying. Love your fibula week. Okay, so let's go ahead and take our sun salutes with the idea of when I bend my legs, that fibula is going to roll forward, and when I straighten, that fibula is going to roll back, allowing the talus to slide back and slide forward. So inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, feel that fibula roll forward as my talus slides back. Inhale, back up, my talus folds. Exhale, float the arms back down. Clasp the hands behind. Inhale, open the collarbones. Exhale, bend the legs again. Again, what is that fibula doing? The talus. Release the arms down. Inhale, come up. Can I feel even more range as my talus slides backward as my fibula rolls forward? Fibula rolls out to bring my talus forward, and then float the arms down. Take a moment and feel.
That's so much better.
Yay!
And think about rolling in instead of trying to like roll out.
Cool. Cool.
In chair.
Let's do it again. Float the arms up. Exhale, feel those fibulae roll inward. Not my knees, it's the fibula, yeah? And then up. Float the arms back down. Clasp the hands. Inhale, open those collarbones. Bend the legs. Feel those fibula roll forward as my talus goes straight back. Release the arms down. Inhale up. And then exhale, soften and sink. And then inhale, come back up and slide. So now I don't have to think about engaging my quadriceps or working hard or getting my shins all tight in chair pose if I'm really allowing the bones. Because one thing that we're told a lot, don't let your knees knock in chair, right? So what we do is just pull our knees out. And I'm not saying we shouldn't use that cue. You're teaching a class of 100 people. You just want to get it down and dirty cue. But hey, I've got 4 people here. We can get a little bit more surgical with the cueing now, yeah? And I know you pretty well. So we can get more into really what is going to help us get that chair pose to not be just always a quad burner, but something that's actually helping my bones find their relationship and their alignment, all right? So inhale, float the arms up again. Exhale, soften and sink. Feel the fibula roll in and the talus slide right back. And now we'll just stay in chair. Bring the arms down, place the hands to the heart in prayer. And now just feel how those fibulae roll, as they roll forward, the talus can slide back. So I don't have to think about gripping or hurting my shins or anything. Now you will feel your muscles engage if we hold it longer, yes? So you can still feel that muscular action. Muscles are still working, but our focus here is on what's happening in that fibula-talus relationship. Can you feel now that the tibia moving down through the talus into the heel, which moves it into the up the outsides of the feet, across the balls of the feet, out through the toes. And stand up, take a moment and feel. And how's that different? Was that a different chair?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, awesome. Great. All right, let's take our legs wide-ish. Rotate the right leg out, left foot in. So this is an interesting question for the fibula. Can I keep rolling my fibula forward and allow my talus to go back? And how does that change what's happening in my tibia? So I feel my fibula, because oftentimes we just take that weight to the outside and go right into the outer ankle. But if I take my back foot, feel that fibula rolling forward to allow my talus to go back, then does it give my tibia some more room to actually ground down a little bit more clearly through my heel? Just a question. And in the front foot, I've got that. Now I've got my tibia actually my fibula actually rolling out slightly to let my talus come forward, because my toe is more in a pointed, this arch is more straight instead of bent here. Okay, inhale, and as I exhale, now the fibula is gonna roll forward to allow that talus to slide back, and then back up. Now I'm gonna keep that fibula rolling slightly outward so the talus can move forward, giving my tibia something to really drive into. So just play with that. I won't talk so much right now unless it's helpful. I can. You know I have got the gift of the gab. But just on your own for a moment, play with that fibula, talus, tibia, heel, whatever is interesting to you as we do our sliding glides. And if it's too much, just let it go and then just do something else, because it's not about your brain. I mean, it is, then it isn't. And then just stay over in the triangle pose a little bit here. So I'm feeling a little bit of fibula rolling out so my talus can move forward. So my tibia has a place to go down into the heel. And that rolling inward of the fibula on the back so my talus can slide backwards, allowing my tibia to go into my talus and heel. Just stay here for a couple of breaths, and then inhale, come up, slowly walk the feet together. That might have been a dramatic change in your joints, and just take a moment and feel. Anything?
Good work.
Yeah? Cool. All right, let's do the other side. Rotate left foot out, right foot in. Set up by feeling that, giving yourself a little bit of moment to feel that internal rotation of that internal rotation of your fibula to allow your tibia, your talus to go backwards, allowing the tibia to something really to get into. And then in the front, because my leg is straight, this is going to be not flexed here. This is more flexed. That fibula rolling out slightly so the talus can slide back. So my tibia has some bone to get into. So I can go tibia, talus, heel. Now, as we bend and flex it, we're going to change it. So rolling that fibula in and rolling it out, keeping it rolled out as I go over and up. And now go ahead and take your own exploration of whatever's interesting to you of all the many things we've talked about in this foot, ankle, foreleg exploration class, all couched with the idea of forgiving self and others. So why not? And then if the front leg is enough and you want to start to thinking about how the fibula, talus, tibia, heel are all related in the back foot, that's also fine. And then this time stay over in your half triangle pose just a little bit. And can you feel that sense of how does my fibula roll out slightly to allow my talus to come slightly forward so my tibia can just go in there, tibia, talus, heel, and feel more connected to the weight-bearing bones of my body. And by allowing my back leg talus to slide backwards a little bit, my tibia has something to go into. And inhale, come on up, walk the feet together, take a moment and feel. Just notice. Great, let's inhale, float our arms up. Hands to the heart in prayer as I come down, internally rotating my fibula as I come to chair pose. And now we'll take the balance. So pour the weight onto one of the legs. Again, feeling that internal rotation of my fibula, so my talus can slide back. Now feel my tibia moving into the talus, into my heel as I pick up my other leg. And see if that changes my balance. Can I feel now if you can, it goes all the way up from your thigh bone into the tibia, down into the talus, into the heel, throughout the rest of the foot. I'm still negotiating this carpeting thing. And come on up and take a moment and just notice, how was that? Did anyone feel a different sense of alignment or stability or not stability there in the balance?
I feel like my ankle was involved in tree in a way that hasn't been in a while.
Nice.
That I usually try to like make it my butt, right? Because everybody's like, engage the butt, engage the leg. But I felt like more stability in the foot, and then I was grounding that ankle. Cool. It helped.
Awesome. Let's take the other leg. Inhale, float the arms up. Again, feel those fibulae rolling towards each other to allow the tali to slide backwards, to allow the tibia to go, yeah, finally a weight bearing. That's what I was designed to do. Put the weight onto your other leg. Once you get all that bone, calcaneus, talus sliding back, fibula helping that, tibia moving into talus, then cross your leg over. Enjoy. Find what's going on for you there. And release. Come on up. Take a moment. Great. Let's take a straight-legged balance now for just tree pose regular. So again, feel for you, experiment with, if I have that tibia, that fibula roll in slightly, does it slide my talus back just enough for my tibia to have sort of a bite so I can go, yeah, tibia, talus, heel? Or maybe I need something different on that foot. So find whatever that alignment is, but feel that tibia, talus, heel connection, and however the fibula can help guide there. Otherwise, take the other leg up into tree or keep it down low wherever it's good for you. But now the leg is straight instead of bent, so it's a different ankle. Woo. Just take a moment, feeling that sense going through your thigh bone, into the tibia, into the talus, into the heel, throughout the foot, outside of the foot, across the ball, into the toes. And then take it down and feel. Now, a lot of my question recently has been because my left knee, which had surgeries when I was younger, has been bugging me. And so I'm trying to figure out a way, because if something's hurting in my knee, I'm thinking, what can I do in my hip? And that wasn't helping. So now I said, okay, what's going on in my foot and my ankle? How can I get that? And that's when this whole fibula thing started to really come in for me recently. So I'm glad I got to share some of my personal insights with you right here. And now take the other leg, feel that fibula rolling to allow your talus to go wherever it needs to go, whether it doesn't need to slide forward or back, you may not know. But find that tibia, talus, calcaneus connection. And when you're ready, take it into the vrikshasana or tree pose variation of your choice for today. Not worrying about picking up our arches, but can I find the alignment of those three bones? And then release and come down. Take a moment. Good. And now take another walk before we go to the ground, and just notice, how are you on your legs now? Is there more spring in your step? Is there a different kind of, when you're walking, do you feel a different gait? Like, are your feet responding differently to the floor beneath you? Has anything shifted in your walking?
Wow, I'm noticing my big toe has a totally different relationship with the ground on both sides.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah. Like that ball right behind my big toe, but same kind of thing. Like it for a while, it was just the heel felt solid, but now I feel like that's engaged now too.
Nice. Anybody else want to say anything?
Yeah.
You don't have to. I'm just giving you opportunity, giving you voice if you want it. All right, great. Let's go to the ground. Let's go to the ground. You might want to have a strap nearby or a block. Just have things nearby. So go ahead and allow yourself to feel your feet on the floor, heel, talus, tibia, fibula. And as I sit there and just take a moment to breathe into that. And then begin to take your hips up for dynamic bridge a little bit. You can take your arms up as well. But see if you can find for yourself, how does the fibula inform how the weight's going through your tibia into your talus, into your heel, into your foot, as you take dynamic bridge. Ultimately, we've been talking a lot about pelvic halves. We're going to add the femur, your thigh bone, which is going to take that weight down through the tibia and then back up through the tibia. Take it a few more times, and when you find the bridge pose of your dreams and you want to stay there, stay there. And can I not pick up my arches in, like with my muscles, pick up my arches, but can I find how the bones lead one into the other? So my thigh bone goes through the knee joint, taking that weight down through the tibia. Maybe my fibula needs to roll in or roll out just a smidgen to adjust so that talus can come right under my tibia and go right down into my heel, which then spreads it out through the rest of the bones in my feet. And then how does that change what's happening in my butt, my hips, my back, maybe even my shoulders, maybe even in my brain or my face? How does moving my fibula change my face, if at all? A couple more breaths here. And then inhale, slowly come down. Take a moment and feel that sense of space, possibly. Good. Go ahead and cross your right ankle over. This is a place where oftentimes we're told to flex the foot so we don't go into the ankle joint. This is where we don't want to be overstretching that ankle. So keep the ankle free, cross your, so the big bones are on your thigh, and then bring it in for through the whole pose. If that's too intense, take your foot on a block. Or maybe put your foot up a wall or on a chair. And get yourself, actually maybe even put your foot on a block or on a chair, just so you can be free. So you can now manipulate, hold your ankle bones, and then move your heel around. Hold your ankle bones, and then below the ankle bones, which will be on the talus, and then move your heel around. And now go ahead and take your outer ankle bone, and that's your fibula, and just trace it up to your knee, and just feel right below your knee, that little bumpy thing, and your ankle, and just kind of roll it as if it was rolling in and out. It probably won't move, you know, it's not about getting it to just move a lot, but just to let you know that you're acknowledging that it does that. And then just stay there with it through the whole now, without worrying about whether you're flexing or pointing your foot, but find a place and say, okay, bones, line up in the way that's going to be most efficient for weight bearing. And just let that be for a couple more breaths here. And then release and come down. I'm going to say one more thing here before I start to shut up more and prepare us for Shavasana. But that cue that we're given in yoga a lot to flex the foot to take care of the knee. How many times have you heard that? Well, not from me. You've never heard that from me. Because it's not a down and dirty knee taker carer. But if I flex my foot all the time and through the hole, then I'm actually engaging these outer muscles all the time, which may or may not be helping my fibula maintain some idea that it can move. And I'm not saying don't do it if it helps you, but it's not the cue for everybody. And sometimes it's good to not have this be so engaged all the time, because it's good to see what happens if they can just move a little bit more on their own. These other aspects like our fibula or our calcaneus or our talus. But if I'm always flexing my foot or lifting this big toe, which some styles of yoga say always lift your big toe, and I'm an advocate that is not the answer to the world's problems. So I'm not saying don't lift your big toe. I'm just saying that that's not going to solve your arch issues. It's just going to lift your big toe for a while. Okay, let's do the other side. Through the whole pose on this side any way you want. You can play with the fibula, maybe think about your tibia going into your talus, play with your calcaneus, even your big toe has something to do here. And then play around as much as you want to, and then find your through the hole for this side, and then just stay there and allow yourself to breathe and forget and just allow your body to digest it. And then release. With my feet flat on the floor, from the soles of my feet, can I feel the soles of my feet roll my knees to the right? And then the soles of my feet roll my knees back to center. And then the soles of my feet roll my knees to the left. And then the soles of my feet roll my knees to the center. So I'm not lifting my feet off the floor for this particular version, but just allowing now the soles of my feet. And as I'm rolling side to side here, initiating from the bottoms of my feet, can I see what's leading? The balls of my feet, the outsides of my feet. If I say roll from the bottoms of your feet, what becomes the leader for you? You don't have to answer that out loud. Just notice, because it could change, or it might be the same for you every day. And what happens if you feel that heel, talus, tibia as your point? I'm not saying that that's where you should be rolling from. I'm just saying what happens if right now we allow that to be kind of where we're organizing around. And then I'm just going to throw this in to bring in a little bit what we did last week. As I move my calcaneus, talus, tibia, and my knees go to the side, can I find that line into the front of my spine in my lower back and the front of my spine behind my heart? So I'm not letting everything poke up, I'm feeling it really root down into the front of my spine now. This is moving through parts that we've done a lot of exploration with, the pelvic floor and the pelvic halves. So it's already there and ready for this connection. Let's take a few more. And come back to the center, take a moment and feel. Just notice what's changed in your body, in your chest, in your guts, in your hips. Hug both knees into the chest. You can take a roll side to side here if you want to. You can take a happy baby, anything you'd like to do before our delicious yet short Shavasana. So if there's something else you want to do for your body, now's the time. I mean, you can continue to do it. You don't have, now's the time, as if we're in a big class together. That's, yeah, do what you gotta do. And then get yourself into Shavasana. I'm gonna mute us all so that it sounds a little bit better. And just start to feel yourself falling deeper and deeper into the center of yourself with each breath. Really appreciating your willingness to know more about yourself. Physically today, but also mentally, emotionally, and vibrationally. And as we delight and digest the deliciousness of that new awareness, that new space inside of our beings, can I begin to feel this sense of forgiveness of self, forgiveness of others, move into those spaces. Places in known and unknown. So we don't even have to know what it is. I'm forgiving and all that. Just allow this idea of forgiveness to be present and circulate through the spaces in your body. And feel that gentle compassion that comes with forgiveness, this gentle holding and acknowledgement of another presence, this gentle holding and acknowledgement of other. Of other as other is, instead of other as I would like other to be. And feel that sense inside of your body, your heart, your mind, to all the places inside of ourselves that have been deemed other, even though it's you, me. Can I hold all places of myself with that forgiveness, accepting, holding gently with compassion, other as other is, instead of other as what I want it to be. And when you're ready, take a deep breath in And release. You can gently wiggle your fingers and toes a little bit to find the edges of your brand new physical body. Slowly roll your head from side to side to side, feeling your brain soft and balanced. And when you're ready, gently roll onto one of your sides into a loose fetal position. And then push yourself up into a comfortable seated position for a very short, it's the stroke of 11 right now, so if you have another appointment, just letting you know. Very short yet amazing closing. And just notice as you're seated, did all that work we did with our foot, ankle, and foreleg change your seated position? Is it easier or different to sit now than it was before? Now moving back into that place of forgiveness and compassion, that gentle holding. I'll chant the Ganesha chant, which is to me just that being held in that space of being always forgiven, because there were never any expectations that you should be anything else other than who you are right here, right now. Gajananam bhutaganadi sevitam kapiti jambu palucharu bhakshanam umasutam shoka vinashakarakam Mami Vignyeshvara Pada Pankajam. And when you're ready, take a deep breath in. Exhale, release chin to chest, sealing your practice. Go rub your palms together, rub your face, head, shoulders, neck. Just gently stroke your throat. Move it down. Just rub and acknowledge your heart, your arms. Give yourself a hug. Love yourself. I love you. You love me. We love each other and all that. Rub your chest, your breast, your side bodies, your hips, your legs, all the way down to your forelegs, ankles, and feet even. Thank you so much for playing with me today. It's truly my honor and my privilege to be able to share these teachings with you at this time in our lives. Namaste.